a second I thought that black BMW was trying to race because I heard him like step on the gas, and I was like, not today. Not today. So right now we're following Jeremy. This is his Infiniti G35. Headed to Andy's shop for a going away party for Landon, but also like a little barbecue. So a couple cars coming out, driving the R32. Let her stretch her legs a little bit. And after being in that R36, had to jump in this car for a little bit. I really want to drive the VR6 Jetta wagon, but still no paperwork. So until then, I mean, this isn't a bad option at all, but would love to drive the wagon at some point. This road sucks. Yeah. This car feels so good. Also might try and do a little pull with Jeremy. He said that car has like 280 or so to the crank, which is more than this car. It's probably, maybe it's not light, I don't know. This car's all-wheel drive, this car's kind of heavy, but just have some fun. Little Autobahn cruise to the Andy shop. This car is a little bit louder. Behind it sounds so good, but like inside here, I just hear a little bit more of it. Also, Autobahn going that way is closed and it's a nightmare. But this way looks pretty open. Nice. I like that. No traffic. I'll see if he wants to do a little run here. I'm just curious to see because that car has more power. Looks good. Freshly lowered. Do a little. Oh, I heard him step on it. I'm in 6th gear, but it's okay. See if I can come back at all on him. Nobody honked, but it's okay. I heard him stand on it, but. Oh, and this is our exit. I wonder if we're both on a low gear, how it would handle. But I was in 6th gear and way behind it, but still. Just a little more than fun. Oh, Mercedes whipping it. So much fun to drive, and it's a bit more challenging just because, you know, right-hand driving. Still not I mean, years of driving normal side to have to shift with your left hand just makes you focus that much more. This car's fun though, and it feels rewarding shifting with your left hand and getting it like right, because it's very easy to mess up. And we're back home. So slight change of plans. After we got to Andy's shop, we dropped off Jeremy's Infiniti, then he rode back with me to the junker to pick up the R33 and then go back to the shop again. But on the way back, I started to smell the brakes a little bit, like kind of burning, which is weird because like I never had an issue with this car before. Got to the junkyard, I got out, and the front right caliper I think might be seizing up because that side is super hot and it smells of just brake. So I'm gonna drive up the car, pull the wheel off, and see what's going on with that one. Now you guys obviously can't feel the heat or smell it, but look at this rotor. You can see all the heat marks on it, and like it's hot. And over here you can see this rotor, nice and clean, good to go, no crazy heat coming from it. So jack it up, pull the wheel off, and see what's going on with this caliper, why it's not releasing all the way. Yeah, this thing's hot. So, but aside from our possible seized up caliper, the driveway is looking pretty good this morning. So front wheel's off. Again, you can see how hot this is getting. You can kind of hear it's dragging a bit. So I mean, at first glance, everything seems to be where it should be. I'm gonna go through, bolt check everything, and then that checks out, probably pull this off and see what's happening here. So I went through, checked all the bolts, and nothing in here is loose. Went ahead and pulled the caliper off. All that I can see between this one and the driver's side one is the slide pins here just a little bit more compressed than on that side. So I'm guessing that might be the issue. I'm gonna go through and pull the pads out, compress the pistons, pull these off and grease them up a little bit, and then hopefully that fixes our issue. Like I said, we've had no issues before with the brakes in this car at all, and there was no like squeaking or jerking sound. It just started to smell hot after a little while, so maybe it's just getting stuck in here a little bit. Okay, so here's where we're at. The caliper itself, the pistons compressed, no problem, like didn't fight me at all. So I don't think they're seized up or like getting bad. That worked, no problem. I went through and I greased up this pin and that pin, but it all came apart, no problem. When I had the pads out, everything on the inside looks completely fine. I'm not quite sure what I'm missing here. Everything's tightened back down. I'm gonna go through last thing, bleed this caliper again just to maybe see if there's air in the line possibly. There's no leaks in here that I can see. I don't know why it was just dragging like it was, but yeah, I pulled it all apart. Piston compressed, no problem. You can hear it's not touching at all anymore. You can see the gap now. Everything looks to be completely normal. So all right, we are all back together and back on the ground ready for a test drive. I will say right off the bat though, when I dropped the e-brake, let the car roll forward just a little bit, I didn't hear anything from this side. And earlier at the junker, when we first tested this out, dropped the e-brake, we pushed the car and you can hear it grinding kind of like as it came to a stop. Don't hear that anymore, so maybe we're good to go. As I said, I still don't know what happened, but it was definitely dragging. I mean, you can see it all over the rotor face, and it was like so hot from this side. So quick test drive, make sure it's not doing anything more, and then maybe back to Andy's. It's like 5 o'clock now. I think I missed everything today. It's 4:22. I missed almost everything, but hey, it's what it is. So test drive, make sure it's good, and then maybe back to the shop. All right, so just got back from a little cruise, the normal little test route area. I don't smell any brake. It's not crazy hot. The car drives fine and brakes fine. I really don't know what happened, but it might be good now. I'm not sure. They're actually all heading over here right now. I'm gonna hop in line with them, go for a little cruise. I'm gonna stop periodically and just keep an eye out for the smell of like the hot brake, but I think it might be okay. All right, so we have quite the group. Mini Cooper, 32, BMW, Marvin's 944. This thing's dope, buddy. 928 CS, I believe. Yeah, a 968 CS. Right-hand drive. This thing's sick. Cool group. So now, go for a cruise. Hopefully, no more copper issues, and we'll get from there. So the plan here is to do a cruise with all these cars to a photo spot, which should be really nice. My main concern, though, I'm gonna keep an eye out, make sure I don't smell any like burning from that side, and hopefully we make it to the entire cruise and make it to the photo spot. But if I smell it, I'm gonna dip out and then probably just cruise the car home. But hopefully, doesn't happen. So far it feels good, and we'll see. Cool group. That thing is dope. The 968 CS, like factory cage, paint match wheels, paint match cage. That thing is dope. Super cool car. So cool group. Hopefully we can make the entire cruise. We'll see. So we hit a whole bunch of traffic in town, and I'm currently playing catch up. On the bright side though, don't smell anything yet, which is good. All right, they went this way. I've got the Mini, the Subaru, and Marvin with me, and the other Porsche. So right now we're just trying to play catch up and catch back up, but we're heading towards Otterberg. There they are. All right, caught back up. Good to go. Yeah, that section of Autobahn's closed right now, so there's so much traffic on all the back roads. So as soon as this whole middle section goes away, we can have some fun driving. Current lineup, we have the M3 in the front, E46 M3, then Jeremy in the R33, the Audi in front of me, Mini behind me, and then Subaru. I can't see Marvin or the 968. I don't know where they went to. They're behind us, but now they're gone. But now, open road, beautiful weather, time to have some fun. That skyline is so loud. This car definitely needs an intake and a high flow cat because it's just not loud enough. Like when you're like full throttle, I want to hear like that roar from the front. You just don't quite get out the stock airbox. And then high flow cat, just more loud in the back, more VR sounds. It's good, but it just needs a little bit more just for that awesome, just, you know, growl when you drive the car. I will say though, this car has absolutely zero drone. We're doing about 100 miles an hour now, cruising the Autobahn, and you can't even like hear the car. Like I can let off and I hear it a little bit, but like cruising along 100 miles an hour, you can't even hear the car. It's crazy. Very nice for long trips. Still needs to be louder though, but there's no drone right now. This car grips so well. So well. We made it, and no heat from that side. Always good. Let's just go ahead and double check this real fast. Much better. No crazy heat, no smell. We're good. All right, so after some very strange brake issues, like completely good, nothing's wrong now. The car drives perfectly, it brakes no problem. There's no more heat from the side. I'm not sure why it like kind of seized up, but it's all good now. Car rips. We actually drove pretty chill most of the day, so hit some backwards way home, kind of pushed this car a little bit. So much fun. This thing is so much fun to drive. I love the sound. It needs a little bit more sound to it, but it's R32. I mean, you can't really go wrong with this thing. Good old 32 running like an absolute champ still. Like I said, driving this car has me so excited to drive my VR6 wagon. Still waiting, like I said. Hopefully this coming up week we'll hear something back. Like I said before, we submitted the paperwork for the VR6 wagon and also for the Mark II, and apparently they ended up pushing the Mark II first when Casey said to do the VR6 wagon first, so now they have to like reroute some stuff, and military stuff and writing paperwork takes forever sometimes. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're back this week. I can get plates and start driving. I want to drive my wagon so bad. Like, I love driving that car. I love driving this car, but like, I want to drive the wagon so bad. Also, I'm pretty sure I showed this before. These are the VR5 4Motion brakes, the 312mm rotors with the it's not even a larger caliper. It's the same as the 288. It just has the larger arm right there. You can see right there. So from the 288 to the 312, it's the same caliper. It's just the arm that's longer to fit the larger rotor. But now I'm kind of thinking I might sell these ones and get me some R32 ones, because you can find them used on eBay pretty easily. So instead of doing 312 in the front of the VR6 wagon, we might do 334, which would be pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna make this video its own video, which it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be a quick cruise in this car to Andy's shop, hang out for a bit, and then back home, and then work on the Corrado, because it has one more part before it leaves. But this car took up most of my day, which isn't a bad thing, but still. So the plan for this week will be Corrado tomorrow, finish that up, and it's gonna be leaving this week. Then we'll be able to move on to my Bora wagon, putting that car back to stock, and then after that car is back to stock, and hopefully on the lemon lot, and hopefully I have plates for the VR6 Jetta wagon, which we may or may not have. We're moving on to the Golf 3 wagon for a little project that patrons know about. I'll tell you guys about later on. And then after that, we're going to the Pink Floyd. I know it's kind of far off, but a lot of funds need to be acquired for the Pink Floyd, because I want to try to get all the parts in one shot, because there's a lot. Which actually tomorrow I have a piece up for the Pink Floyd, so I'll show you guys tomorrow. But yeah, that's kind of this week's outlook. Corrado, war piece, and then out of here, Bora wagon back to stock, and then possibly starting on the Golf 3 small mini project real fast. And then once we're done with that car, moving on to the Pink Floyd, which I want to get back to the Pink Floyd so bad. Trust me, I do. But a few things ahead of that car first. Once those are done, we can secure the funds, and then it's full steam ahead of that car. Because again, the car has to be done and leaving Germany probably around January to make the Euro trip in February. So we got some work ahead of us, but it's all kind of planned out, so it should be no problem. But with that, gonna end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do not forget, be thankful for every single day. See you guys next time. Peace.